And we are still enjoying this beautiful morning outside on the porch. Mark Hite is here from Mark Hite Keller Williams Realty. Doesn't really feel like an August morning, does it?
You know, we were just talking about that. I mean, it really is quite desirable out here. We could have a cup of coffee and just chat.
So you wanted to talk this morning, kind of go back in time a little bit. We tend to think right now about, understandably so, how difficult this life is right now. A lot of people have been impacted financially in all of this mess these last several months. But if you're looking housing wise, which is what you do every day,
Right.
and you make a comparison today versus this time a year ago, you could argue that you're in a better position right now as a home buyer.
It really is a dichotomy, Julie. So often I hear people say, gosh, if we get back to normal, or last year. And so I thought, let's just look at what a difference a year makes in real estate. Because if you and I were sitting here like we did in the studio last August, there were 3,075 homes available for sale in the market. Well, today, this morning, there were 1,450.
So truly cut in half.
Absolutely, half the inventory.
So that part of the equation, I would think, Mark, that's not benefiting the home buyer, but it certainly is benefiting the home seller.
It absolutely is. If you are a home seller and you're comfortable bringing people into your home, it is a great time to sell your home. Now, what we're going to see in a minute is why buyers continue to buy is because on that flip side, interest rates have dropped. And so affordability has gone up. And so this summer, as we've talked before, I mean, our guaranteed offer plan is offering those folks who are concerned about a COVID, folks coming into their home, we've got an option where there are no showings,
Right.
no open houses, no staging. And at the same time, the traditional market, if we can get you up and ready and staged, we can get you top dollar in a short time.
Well, it's interesting because we've been talking these low interest rates. That's been kind of the theme for a year. I mean, last year they were great.
Right.
We tended to think, I did, that, this can only last for so long. You better get out and buy while you can.
Yeah.
Who knows how long this almost free money is going to be there?
Well, what we saw is one of the actions that didn't make the headlines, like the PPP and the small business loans, is the Fed stepped in March and began to buy mortgage-backed securities again.
Okay.
So, because an investor's really not interested in a 30-year return for 2 or 2.5% interest.
Oh, right.
But the Fed is stepping in and buying that, and so we've seen folks, even though our slide shows, 3%, which is about where they're hovering right now, versus 3.75 last August, which was a great number.
Right.
I mean, we were sitting here talking about that last year. Unbelievable
Yeah,
numbers.
you and I both remember the 80s with, what was it, 10% and more?
Oh, my first home, when I got a mortgage under 10%, it was like celebration.
Yes.
But it was a 2-year adjustable rate mortgage in 1998. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, by the way, don't do an adjustable rate mortgage right now. You
No.
don't want that at all.
No, because it's going to go up.
So you keep referencing this guaranteed offer.
Yeah.
You talked about that last time you were here. It's a brilliant idea, but some people might be hearing it for the first time. Explain how it works.
Well, so just like yesterday, I was in Harrison with a lady who is looking for less maintenance. And, her home is one level and it served her well.
Yeah.
But today, like mowing the yard and keeping it up at her age is just not attractive.
Right.
And so what we did is we sat down and we said, okay, I can sell your house, full marketing, shoot it. We had staging conversations for this price, and you'll net this. And at the same time, she was not wanting people in her house. I offered her a guaranteed offer, a cash as is price. We'd close September 1st.
Right.
And she would do nothing except decide where she's moving to.
And it's a great thing for people to hear because either way, let's talk business for a minute. Either way, the business comes your way.
Absolutely.
So there's no incentive for you to be anything but forthcoming and honest. It's just a question of whether they want their money now or later.
And if they're in a position to maybe do some repairs. I was in a home day before yesterday, and they need a roof. It's leaking. So before we could put it on the market, a roof's going to have to be on that house. Then we started to walk around. It's like, oh, what's going on with the deck? Well, the deck was settling because the posts were rotten.
Right.
And so they were very fixable items, but they required resources.
Right.
And time.
And that's something that you mentioned, the seller yesterday who just didn't want people coming in her house. On the monetary side of things, there are people who have sadly lost their jobs right now in the midst of COVID, and the resources aren't there. They have to hold on to every penny, but what a great time for them to take advantage of the good market.
It absolutely. So, we're providing solutions, Julie, and that's how we're going to get through this COVID, is finding regardless of where you are, what's the best step for you?
What about the fact that there is a house for everybody? You mentioned the lady who's lived in her house for a long time and it's the one level. You might think, oh, but everybody wants a 2-story grand house. They don't. There's a house for everybody.
We're seeing people, and I've jokingly called it right sizing.
Yes.
Where we've actually had folks that downsized with us in the last 5 to 7 years, and in March,
The kids
one or
came
both of
home.
them were sent home to work, and kids came home from school and college, and suddenly that right size house is
Too small.
So, you know, folks are making decisions, maybe not the way we've always thought it was or
Right.
normal, but, you know, our jobs, you know, are to help provide solutions. And that's what we're doing today.
Everybody has their comfort level. We have about a minute left when it comes to COVID. You know that, so you're getting tested on a regular basis because so much of what you do is face-to-face like this. So you take it very seriously.
I take it very seriously. I show up with every appointment with a mask on. We're prepared to meet the folks where they are. Had a real sweet lady the other day. So I've been an elementary teacher, you know, for 30 years. I'm immune. But nobody's immune to COVID.
Yeah.
So we're respectful of that. We sanitize, and I've had several tests, not because I've exhibited symptoms, but I feel an obligation, you know, to make sure that I'm not a spreader unknowingly.
And are you still doing your soon-to-be-on-the-market releases?
Coming soon,
Coming
absolutely.
soon?
Yes, when we get a property and we know that it's either getting some repairs done or they're getting staged out, we go ahead and launch it then. So that's helping folks. We had a young couple with a tighter budget, and so I knew I had a house coming right over here off Ashland Terrace that was going to fit their budget. So they were the first in the door because we knew it was coming down the road.
He knows kind of what it is that you're going to need in the whole process of buying the house, so he's trying to make his services hit you at each step along the way. You can find more by going to his website there on your screen or giving them a call at their offices on the south side. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
James, your car was pulling to the right, and you came to Budget Break seeking alignment. What happened?
They fixed it for the best price in town.